We are getting ready to load up the van, and we are getting ready to go to our Texas trip 2005. We originally thought we were going to be able to take the Spitfire too, but it looks like there's only room in the van for Miss Ashley and of course for TigerCat. We've got about a dozen flights on it. It's not trimmed out yet. We don't have any real stunt patterns on it yet either. In fact, I don't even think I've done a wing over with it yet. But Rich Oliver and the crew in Texas is planning on helping us. Les Emmett is going to drive the van down. We're going to load it up on what amounts to be a rainy day here in Jersey. Now, at least in the last half an hour or so, it stopped raining, so I've been able to get some of the stuff ready to load up in the van. An awful lot of chores and little things to do. But you can see they've just started building right on the back of our property is this giant room. Not so sure what it is. It looks like an addition to the house. They're banging and bonking away all day long back there. And you can see my neighbor, Mike and Chris, who have painted their fence whimsically. Cardinals. He's a big St. Louis Cardinal fan. And they've done a great job of decorating their yard and making it all happen. And if it was a little sunnier, you could see just how nice our flowers are growing that Karen has planted this year. We're going to get to feed the fish a couple more times before the van is loaded up. And one of the biggest pains we have here is when we go away, we have to get people to watch Chickadoodle, our pet oriole, and we have to get people to maintain the pond and take care of the filters and unplug things and do email, and it's always an ordeal going away on vacation. But the Olivers in the past have been just special hosts, and this is the first time Karen's going to be going down to Texas. We're really looking forward to a great vacation with Rich and Edie and Dub Jet and Donna and the whole crew from Texas. And thanks to the world of video and DVDs, we hope you're going to enjoy sharing this trip with us. Now, just to set the stage, I realize not everybody's a video subscriber that's going to be looking at these Texas tapes, especially the bootleg copies of them, which I'm sure there are many out there in the real world. And by the way, guys, this is all shot in digital, so you can make some pretty decent copies if you got good equipment. Anyway, here's what's left. We've given a part of the A26 to John Brodak, Joe Brodak, John's brother, was the official pilot, and he, of course, has since passed away. Several people, including Sleepy Ken Dawson, have taken some parts for souvenirs. John Cafaro has the rudder, so there's pieces of this all over the place. Now, here's what brings a smile or a tear to my eye or something is, if you look at this, this is the original plug here. Move this up. The original plug of the TigerCat that we made the mold from to make the body. And here we are. I'm not sure how many 100 hours later. The plug is still out here in the garage next to the motorcycle and lawn mowers and things like that. And there's kind of a little eeriness to this is the fact that the molds for the TigerCat, and here's the remains of the A26, and they're kind of sitting in bed together here. I'm not sure, but anyway, not sure what that means. Anyway, we have a lot of packing to do, and boy, if you only knew how much stuff has to get moved in this garage so we can get that equipment out. It's an unbelievable job. Luckily, Les is here and he's ready to start digging in, and we hope we're going to beat the raindrops. He's going to drive the Windstar down to Houston. It takes 2 days to make that trip, and Karen and I are going to fly, and we'll meet at the Olivers. Now, it's also the time of year up here. We just started our flying season. We have a couple of days of flying the TigerCat. It still has to be trimmed, of course, but we are in the beginning of what should be a really nice summer for all the video subscribers that watch us plant and watch us shovel snow and work on our pond, and now of course the joy of having somebody build a house right behind our pond, in fact, is where they're building that thing. And because of the rain, one of the things, we won't have to water tonight. Lucky us. But the packing is a big job. We really do have a lot of stuff we're bringing down there. It's an unbelievable amount of stuff. And we're really looking forward to this trip. We have had such terrible weather up here. And to be honest, every day when Rich Oliver and I talk on the phone, the first thing he has to mention to me is that, oh, it's 90 degrees and the wind isn't blowing and it never rains. And so now it's time to step up to the plate. Now, one of the things that we were really sad to hear was that Paul Winter lost his Manchester. We were actually really looking forward to possibly seeing him fly it at Brodax. But we are going to have Sergei Belko with us at Brodax. So if you're thinking of coming to Brodax, this would be a great year to do it. And if you've never been to Brodax, it is a really special experience. You should never not go to Brodax. And if you missed them, pick up the DVDs, or in the worst case, get some bootleg DVDs. But be there. It is really a special time. And to be honest with you, being in Texas is a special time too. We're really looking forward to this. And one thing I always love about the world of modeling, and I guess it's something that I'm not the only one that ever figured this out, is every year it's different than the year before. You go to a contest one year, you skip a year, or you miss a year, you go to next year. But every year it's different. It's a different trip. It's a different adventure. And all these adventures are, to me, they're adventures. And the whole point is, if you know where you're going, it's not quite the adventure it would be if you didn't know where you were going. And we don't know where we're going in Houston. This is really going to be an adventure. Karen, myself, we're all looking forward to this, as I'm sure everybody that we're going to interact with and share this trip with. And I hope the people that enjoy the DVDs and videos, hope you all enjoy it. And in the end, there's just something special about these memories, and I'm not sure what it is. There's always something special that I can't describe. Now, even though we don't have our A26 anymore, one thing we do have is the video of it, the memories of it, the fun that we had with it. And I'm never sure what the people that don't have an interest in something like modeling do with all that energy and time. I'm just never sure of it. But I know what we are. We are going to Houston. And here it is through the magic of video. And how long did it take Les to get down here?
13 hours one day and about 12 the next.
13 and 12, 25 hours of driving. This is Rich and Edie Oliver's beautiful home and shop. And step one on this visit is we're going to unload the car. Now, we just got off an airliner. Of course, we flew down in 3 hours. But Les did us a favor by driving down, of course, and it looks like it's a little over 100 degrees right now, so we're probably just going to go in the shop or in the house. So here we are, finally at 100-degree heat. We're in Rich Oliver's awesome shop, air conditioned. Not sure what he's got, lights up in the ceiling. And the TigerCat finally arrives in Houston, where we're hoping we're going to get some pictures with the one of the last 10 flyable TigerCats that's based in Galveston, where I think there's a Sky Raider too. That's one of the things on our itinerary. We're going to try to learn a little bit more about the features of our digital camera, which may or may not happen. We don't know yet. We're still a little confused, but so if you see some funky footage, you'll know it's me.
Well, plus now that you're using mini DV,
Yeah.
see, I just send you mini DVs.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anything we shoot this weekend, send me so I can look at
You
it,
can
man.
just play it on yours or play it on TV, but you can also work with it.
Oh, I've been editing. I've been doing that with no problem at all. Anyway, this is Rich's, I guess, new plane, old plane, rebuilt plane. What is this guy?
Well, that's the one that's about ready for paint. This is one I'm currently flying right here.
That's last year's plane or another one like last year's
Another
plane?
one like last year's was red, white, and blue. This is somewhat of a copy with a couple of changes. Awesome.
What are
Awesome.
the changes though? Just cosmetic or?
No, flaps are a little smaller because I'm constantly taking flap out. And you'll notice on this one I even made them much smaller.
I made mine real small too.
And I made the tail a little bit longer. And last year's airplane had a very rectangle, square,
Right.
huge tail.
Right.
So I gave this one some shape.
I haven't seen this down off the rack yet, so. Well, we're gonna see it sooner or later.
Yeah, this is 76 with the big pipe.
Yeah, nice
painted
canopy.
Right off of your video.
Yeah, D. Rice has one of those windy video
Oh, yeah,
things
he'll
going
have
on.
his BearCat out. He did an
Did
excellent
he-
job.
yeah, we worked on his canopy thing with a bunch of emails and videos and stuff.
See, the tail's not square.
Yeah,
anymore.
okay.
So last time it was square because I was trying to get as much area as I could possibly get.
Yeah. See, Dave Downey has told me this is, when you have this edge accented, if you look at the old sweeper from 68, with this angle, it's like an arrow.
Yeah.
It gives it some stability that's free, because you're not paying in any way that's negative. You're just getting a free ride there.
And the flaps are a little bit smaller than last year's airplane, but not a lot. And I dialed some of these out.
And you got adjustable controls, so you can take more flap, more elevator, more.
Everything's adjustable.
Okay.
Got a hatch here, so I can get to this.
Okay, cool.
But I also raised the wing up
Right, to make room for the pipe.
to not only make room for the pipe, but I was constantly flying wing down, and I needed everything
Okay.
to move down
Right.
to balance it out. But I also built adjustable lead outs up and down as well as back and forth.
Cool, I like to see how that works, yeah. Well, we're gonna get a lot of high-tech stuff going on here soon.
No, this one has it also,
Okay.
but I don't know if you can see down in there.
Well, I just cut the wingtip off. Let's see. But in other words, you can raise them up and down
But
and
the
front
screws
to
on
back.
either end, and if I loosen
Okay.
the screw, the whole bar slides up and down.
You know, hold it right where it is. Let me see if this works. Nah, we're trying our features of backlighting and stuff here. Nah, a little flashlight would be cool. If
Yeah, hold this.
my son borrowed my $100 flashlight, never brought it back. Yeah, well, you got these big lights here.
They're the big lights.
That's kind of a neat little feature. I had something similar to that on a sweeper where you could get them up and down and forward and back, and it never hurts to have more adjustments. That's
It's
for
a
sure.
very simple device, but
Yeah.
it's just plywood with a groove cut on either end of it to where
Right.
it slide up and down,
Right.
as well as the lead outs sliding back and forth.
All right, so here we are in Houston, 20 minutes, and we already learned something.
But every one of my airplanes that I built previous to this, using
Right.
the same pipe setup, using the same my engine with the wing at the same place in the fuselage, all flew outboard wing down.
Okay.
Said I needed some more weight underneath. Well,
Yeah.
with the advent of my can, and you're molding the pipes around my can, the pipes are also lighter. My engine's shorter. The
Right.
weight is more concentrated toward the center, which
Right,
meant
right.
less weight underneath.
Right.
So everything kept saying the wing needs to go up.
Well, it's up. I mean, that's
And
that's
this
almost
one
like a tiger. Look at. I'm
Yeah.
just looking for reference. Look how high the TigerCat wing is.
Right.
I mean, you're going in the same direction. I mean, look how high.
This one's even further up.
See, I made it on purpose. I wanted this tail because it's scale when it's real high like that.
Yeah.
I thought, well, let's get it as high as it'll go, This looks like you could have even gone another little amount, but a lot of this stuff is mumbo jumbo too, you know.
Yeah, but this by far is the best airplane that I've built as far as I adjusted this a minute bit, and I can add nose weight or take it out on any given day, and the airplane just has a groove. It has a nice lock.
And did you weigh it with a? How much did it weigh?
It's 65.
65. Okay. Well, that's a great weight. That's.
I mean, it's 75 to 76 won't even breathe hard.
Weigh Miss Ashley on your good scale, and then we'll weigh the TigerCat. Because my scale is for, you know, it's rusty first of all, and I'm not sure Chicky didn't cheat me on that scale. Okay, what do you read that as?
It's 4 pounds, 6.5 ounces, which is 70.5 ounces. And we'll change that 19, moving around.
Okay, so my scale's not off by too much.
1,994 grams.
Okay, it's... So how much heavier is my plane than yours? That's the ratio I want to know. I'm 5 ounces heavier? 5.5?
Maybe 5.
Okay, because that's significant when you're playing with the prop pitch and stuff.
Well,
In other words, what I like to know is when something works on this plane and I put it on your plane, I don't need more pitch. That's what I'm going. I don't need to take a head gasket out. You know what I mean? I want to know what direction we're going in.
Well, with certain things, that would be a factor. I'm finding the 76 provides so much more extra thrust.
Not
It's a
critical.
non-factor.
It's
a
not critical.
non-factor.
It's like speed tuning a Sherman tank.
Yeah.
Putting a camshaft in it or something.
Yeah, and even the nose weight, extra weight in the motor, didn't change the CG because I'm now flying a larger prop at less RPM.
This, when I put the 65 in here or the 77, no change even to the handle. Just change it and fly.
Yeah, and that's the way it was in mine.
And it drops right in. That's the nice part.
So I was.
And the
really
reason for that is too because I'm far enough back on the CG. When you're really nose heavy,
Right.
that's not always the case.
What it turned out to be is
Now Rich Oliver has videotaped. What do we call this guy?
look at the colors on this bird.
I don't think this comes out on. Look at this was in his backyard.
That feeds like a chicken.
Like a chickie's gonna be. It's not a chicken. No, that's not a chicken.
That feeds like a chicken, but the rest of her is like a pheasant.
It's a chicken.
Which is the chicken foot from her
That's in
head.
your backyard now, right?
Yeah, it was.
And Rich and Edie both saw this this soon-to-be unidentified bird.
Apparently we were one of our neighbors. Have cages or something.
I can tell he's going right to the top of the class here.
Look at the colors on this cat.
He walks like a chicken for sure.
You know, I wish we had our bird watchers book, Karen. I bet we could identify him in a
No, we
minute.
have something like this in it.
Sure it was. It's in a pheasant fan. It's a male.
It's a male?
It's a male. The female would be all brown.
It's a barnyard. She wanted to be an exotic bird.
It is.
So this is a little preview of Rich Oliver's next plane. He's already got the wing and body started. We're going to be doing a Focke-Wulf 190. And it looks like he's chosen to do the short nose version. Rich, are you doing a short nose or the long nose version?
I'm intended to do the short nose, but the nose still has to be as long as you can make it to get it to balance.
Now, if you look over in this unbelievable shop here, he's already got the wing framed out. We're going to take that down later once we get acclimated into things here. You need more toys. You're a lonesome man. Where'd Les go to shoot his gun?
I don't know.
Les brought his gun down here, you know. He's got,
On the phone,
but he's got the shotgun.
out at our local field, I don't know if you noticed, but there is a world-class shooting range on the way to Blind Peak.
I didn't notice. I never saw Les shoot his gun. I'd like to tape him.
From what I'm told, it's the largest in the country.
Really? I know he brought the gun because it was in a van when I unloaded the TigerCat. See, what we're looking at here is Rich Oliver's A26 giant scale. How big was this plane?
It was 130 inches in span.
Hard to get in and out of the garage, and 2 gas motors.
Had 2 100cc gas motors.
Oh,
And this is the nose art I was working with. I was sticking it on the airplane before I made the decals. And remember I told you we might could make your TigerCat marine
right,
decal.
right.
So I was just testing some of them, hanging on the airplane, see how I'd look, and that's a Huntress decal with a tiger.
Now this is in the same shop you have here right now.
Same shop. It's a table right behind us that
Okay.
your TigerCat is sitting on, so you can see the fuselage.
Yeah,
just
yeah. This is
dwarfs.
bigger than the whole table.
Yeah, it hangs off about 3 or 4 feet off the other side. It's
Now,
almost-
what is the paint job on this? Is it like a privately owned one or
Yeah, it was a civilian. And, that's,
civilian A26?
and it's actually Monaco or Ultra Coat. Trying to keep it light, and I was up against a time schedule. And here's the wing. We're on the same table now. You can see it's completely off right down. So the
Yeah,
cells are about the size of your TigerCat.
yeah. My minivan.
There's one of the engines again. That's a Quadra 100.
Wow.
About 6 cubic inches basically.
Yeah.
And the cowls.
The 60 is a half a cubic inch, is what it is, right? Wow, that's unbelievable.
So I think that's just another picture. There's a picture of the nacelle,
Fiberglass cowls.
fiberglass cowls.
Now, what is that white thing on it? That's the
That-
muffler?
No, that's a cap over the carburetor.
Oh, it's a side.
Yeah, it kept the air going in the carburetor instead of siphoning away from it at speed.
Okay.
Now it's a reed valve carburetor that actually goes down to the bottom of the crankcase.
Gotcha.
So that's how it ingests. But it was also turned up, but it would starve for air once you got up to speed. So we had to build these little caps to go over the carburetor so that the air would go in and not siphon away from it. There's a little more focused away from the table. This was the exhaust. I hadn't cut it off yet.
Well, you couldn't even assemble this inside the shop, right?
No.
Conveniently, anyway.
No, I could, but it's the fuselage was between these 2 tables, and the wings were from side to side. There's a rear view of while we were going to see the
Scale dihedral on the tail, yeah. Wing came out the top.
and rules required that you have a cockpit with a pilot. So even though I really didn't want to put it in there,
Now, what event is this for? Giant scale?
giant scale unlimited racing.
Unlimited racing. Okay.
As long as the motors in total didn't exceed 14 pounds, you could run anything you wanted.
Oh, 14 pounds.
Airplane had to be a minimum of 100-inch span and had to be within 10% of scale.
Ah,
So they looked them over pretty good. You had to provide free views. That's one of the nacelles. As you can see, it goes from
yeah.
one side of the table to the other.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 30-inch door that it's sitting on, the tabletop, and that's not even with a cowl or motor on. That's just the rear. Of course, the retracts were housed in there. It had scale retracts. That's the same table now with the fuselage upside down. We were working on the bottom of it. And you can see the rudder, the vertical stab,
Almost hits the ground.
almost hits the floor. I still have the tail of this. We'll pull it out later. It's up in the attic.
Ah,
After the crash, that was the only part I kept.
I never crashed my planes.
This is before some of the earlier stages when the wing was just beginning to get covered. Here it is actually assembled in the garage, and the wheels were wider than the table. We had to put a board on the table because we couldn't set the airplane the other way because there wasn't enough room. We had to set it that way, but we needed a board because the wheel span was bigger than the table.
That's a nice shot. Yeah, that's a nice view.
There's a nice shot showing the canopy, and the nose actually removed. There's 2 screws on either side, That's where the batteries were,
Okay.
on and off switches.
And what was this, a kit at one? Somebody
No,
made a kit?
No.
Oh,
it's
you just scratch built it.
It's scratch built. I found a guy who made the cowls. They weren't exactly the right scale, but they were close. And all he did was make cowls. So I bought the cowls from him. There's a front-on shot where you can see how the nose comes off of those two screws.
Yeah.
A lot of the electronics was in there. Plus, it was how I got to the retracts. The air canisters were in there for the retracts.
Yeah, it's always an issue how to get to things.
How to get to things. There it is.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
Sitting on the wheels. And the wheels were scale. Working oleos, struts, they had brakes. The front gear rotated when it would go up because that was scale and it was required. The rule stated if the real one did it, the model had to do it. This is not a really clear picture, but again, backed out and you can see how much of the shop it's eating up. It's under the cabinets and it's way over this
Yeah, yeah. There's what the TigerCat was eating you up here. This is.
There's a rear quarter view. And that's all the pictures I could find of it. There's several packets somewhere.
Very, very cool. Take that Focke-Wulf wing down. I'll look at that Focke-Wulf wing. You made that, it's all jig built?
It's a la Arabian construction. Right off. I don't know whether it's scaled or not. It is what Al says to make it.
Right, but basically he did the design part of this wing.
The wing, really most of it came off the old McClellan or McLaren Focke-Wulf from the 70s. Late 70s or early 80s. So the ribs came from that, and then to get the nose to look a little shorter, we increased the cuff so that it would appear that the wing was further forward on the fuselage without actually being so. But this is standard Raby construction.
And it's almost like a P-51 wing if you look at it.
Almost identical.
If you look at it from this angle and you didn't tell me, you'd think it might be a P-51.
It's awfully close. As far as, especially even his airfoil is a lot like the P-51 or the Sea Fury. This is the rib cross sections here from the Sea Fury, and it's pretty close to that. Al's recently designed belt crank mount, which is
Yeah, I saw that in Stunt News, yeah.
very, very, very efficient, and really makes the middle of the wing a structural part without a lot of bulk and a lot of heavy stuff.
Now, obviously, this whole thing gets sheeted at some point in time.
That whole thing is sheeted.
Oh, and here's the fuselage.
Richard, what does he use for a buck to form the leading edge, the sheet leading edge on that one?
Cut a foam one.
Okay.
And the P-51 one will work, and I already have one. Last time you were here, I don't know if you remember the P-51 that was here.
Yeah, Rutherford's got it now, right?
I gave it to Rutherford, and Al's still mad at me about that. But I told him I wanted to focus on my Focke-Wulf. But nothing is really glued together. It's just stuck in.
Right, so it's all jig built like Al's other planes.
Right. But the whole thing will still come apart. That's the nose section, which
Yeah, like he has
will
on
still
his
come apart.
the Sea Fury, the Air Racer.
Sea Fury, the Bearcat,
Right.
his critical mass.
Yeah, it's a nice way to build it.
It's a very, very straightforward but dead accurate way of building. All these are laser cut. This is really the genius of Al.
Well, okay, there you go.
Then you just strip up wood and notches are all cut. So then you can, once you start gluing all this together, it's just becomes sheeting it.
Now, what would you do on this? Make 16 shells?
Already done.
You got a buck for them, or
3/32 shell.
3/32?
Here.
Don't lean back, will you?
Yep. Getting a lot of asses and elbows in here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. Nice and light too.
We took the formers
Right.
and the half sections.
Yeah, I got Al's video showing how he did his,
glued
what is
to
it,
the
a
plate,
bear
and then
cat
you-
or something?
And then you fill it in with plaster, sheetrock plaster, which is what this is, and then shape it, sand it, primer it, and then it's your mold. Get the wood off here. It's been so hot in this garage that the wood is dried out and cracked, so it's got some repair work that needs to be done to it. That's the wonder of CA. You just
Now, do you glass this or tissue it, or what's
glass. Glass
what's
is-
the preferred way to get around that?
I prefer to glass, and I glass with automotive clear, with zinc stearate added to it.
Okay.
So not only is it impervious to anything, it gets good and hard, and it's fairly lightweight.
You automotive clear.
Automotive clear. It's catalyzed, so right from the substrate up,
Your fuel.
no fuel can attack it. Oh, I got this off.
So you actually put the e-glass down with,
I brush it on with automotive clear.
okay.
Well, it's epoxy. It's not lacquer.
Right.
It's epoxy.
Yeah, it's urethane.
Well, it's still epoxy. You got a catalyzer.
It's a catalyzed resin paint. But you can see the formers
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
They're glued to a flat board, and then it's 20-minute set sheetrock mud. Didn't know there
Okay.
was such thing, and as a kid, I did tape and bed. sheetrock mud.
Yeah, I did too.
And I can remember waiting overnight just so you could come in and sand it on or bed it again. This stuff.
All right,
is
and what do you do?
firing
Fill
on.
between any two formers and just,
You
or
make
you
it
fill the
up.
whole thing up at once?
Well, as fast as you can because it dries in 20 minutes. So you make one small bucket up and you get as much done as you can, then mix up another one because it
keep
starts
building
firing
it up.
off. You just keep building it up. The formers all have been marked black with a black pen.
I see, yeah.
So when you start seeing the black, you know to stop
Right.
sanding.
The nice part about that over the foot, well, I would imagine you could use foam.
Yeah, I mean, Al has tried putting foam in between and sanding that.
Yeah.
This really eats this plaster in a hurry.
Oh,
And they have
for sure.
small hand ones, but I mean, it's so easy. It is like carving hard foam. Kind of messy, but 20 minutes. Pack it in. 20 minutes, you're packing it in. And within an hour, you're
You're
grinding.
sanding,
You're
yeah.
grinding and sanding on this, and then I shot a light coat of primer on it just to kind of seal it. So, and
Now I wonder if you ever thought of doing this as a test. Make a shell like this, and while it's still on the shell, fiberglass it. Before you install it.
no, because there's still some things that have to be cut and pinched.
Oh, you
together,
still got to pinch and
pulled
pull and
down,
yeah.
so it still
Yeah.
needs to be a little malleable.
Now, let me ask you a question. I'm looking at the jig here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wing. And I know the system of installing is to mate two jigs and put the wing in the proper place on the fuselage. Is that done before or after you put the skin on?
Half the skin goes on. Even though you have a full half and a half,
Right.
this actually gets cut. So only the top half goes on because the wing is going to go on, and then you have to get to the controls.
Okay.
So that's worked from the bottom.
Okay.
But once the top half is glued and the wing is in, because the wing is built right on this jig with it. Now
Right.
another board goes here.
Right.
And the tail, another board goes here.
Right.
And that
the
everything-
tail has a little elevators on it to hold the
Everything
stab
is,
up.
still works off this jig.
Okay.
So once all of this is glued perfectly, then everything can come out, and then the bottom controls are worked, solder, and then the bottom is shooting.
Okay.
But at that point, it's permanent structure. It's rigid. I didn't get that in the bottom. It's not going to move around. I can't believe I missed that. You can't bend and push because they're all locked together.
Yeah.
They all have to go in unison or they don't go.
Now, what do you usually do? You build that nose section as a little separate unit?
No, but you have to build it in a jig one day, I think.
No, I'm saying when you build it, you build this as a separate unit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like this is a separate entity.
Well, but you don't glue it together until it's in. But yeah, this is made it up to whatever engine, whatever tank you're going to use. You massage everything to make sure everything is not,
Right.
you know, everything fits. And then when you've got it all where you want it, then it goes in the jig and it's glued up. That way
Okay.
everything's held perfectly square.
Right.
Even the motor offset that Al's really fond of, and I think the bigger the motor, the bigger the prop, the slower you fly, the more of that offset you need. If you fly a 5.0 lap and a small prop, you don't need offset. But if you,
Well, you make it at some amount variable, right? I mean, there's
you can move it around.
some about. I mean, there's an incremental amount you can move it. I'm assuming.
Actually, this is only supposedly 1 degree. It could be 1.5, but I use 440 screws, and the hole in the motor is big enough for 630.
Oh, okay. So you can move it around.
You can actually lose
Sure.
a degree or add a degree.
Sure, sure. I never noticed.
With
He's
an open
got.
front round cowl.
Remember last year he had the Bearcat, the Sea Fury nose. We were looking at it in his kitchen.
Yeah.
And he had it all framed up like this. It looked pretty cool.
It was a mock-up nose.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to figure out. But,
Well, he was trying to figure out if he could put my 91 in there.
well,
I guess it fit because I didn't get the 91 back. I didn't hear he crashed it or anything.
I think you'll be getting it back. He sent it. If something was wrong with it, he sent it to Sato, and Sato sent him a repair bill of like $200, $250.
Really?
And he said, no, never mind, don't fix it. I'll just buy a new one. New one was only another like $30 or $40.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I told him, well, at least you'll have some spare parts. But one of the smartest things,
I'd rather have the 77 in here anyway.
he would too, if he just won't admit it.
Deal breaker.
But what Billy did that was so smart with his Thunderbolts was having this open front end. He can move the motor up and down.
Yep.
He can move it right or left, in or out, and it doesn't affect the airplane.
Right.
He doesn't have a spinner to match up
There's
to a
no
nose ring.
alignment.
There's no alignment that will change any look of the airplane.
Well, why would you not be able to do this on this?
I will. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That was a smart thing Billy did.
Oh,
that
I
I like about a round, open front cowl.
Yeah, and if it's off an eighth of an inch, who's going to see?
Yeah.
On my 826, they
Yeah.
were off about a quarter of an inch to get the vertical CG better. Nobody even noticed.
Plus, you don't have the extra weight of spinner,
You lose it 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces of
cowl
spinner.
ring, nose
The
rings,
nut that always gets loose and
the
everything.
hardware to hold everything, the
Yeah.
stuff. It's a lighter system, so
But a Focke-Wulf has a spinner.
it can have stuff.
Les, I need your full opinion.
He's got the book.
Where's the book? Get the book. You know, there are TigerCats that have spinners, I know that, but
Well,
mine doesn't.
There are Focke-Wulfs with very small spinners, and there are
Yeah.
Focke-Wulfs with almost
Oh.
full size the cow.
I'm sure they have variations within variations too if you buy the
Yeah.
books.
Well, most
And who
people
cares
know-
if it's the Oliver variation?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we going to dig up Heinrich Himmler and ask him if it had?
Hey, it's
The only
my-
guy I'll know is Jacobone, and you know.
my fictitious Focke-Wulf. It
Of
could be
course.
anything I want, but what a lot of people don't know about a Mustang is there were 7 spinners. 7 different shapes,
Yeah.
lengths, curvatures.
Joe Adamusco has a great saying. He says, "We're going to make a fantasy plane."
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a fantasy. Like his Spitfire, the yellow one, is a fantasy plane,
Well, one of the things
and he doesn't apologize for it.
I
another
disagree
stunt
with
ship up
Keith
here.
Trussell when he printed, you know, when I'm doing appearance judge and I see panel lines or ink lines on an airplane that aren't prototypical of a real airplane, but it's a fantasy airplane.
Yeah,
That's a fantasy airplane.
yeah, of
And
course
when
it
I
is.
called Keith, I said, Keith, you're calling my artwork panel lines. They're not panel lines. I'm telling you now, don't
Well-
say I have fake panel lines because they're not panel lines, they're artwork.
But what I'm saying is Billy Werwich's Thunderbolt? It's a fantasy Thunderbolt. There's no
fantasy
Thunderbolt with that paint job.
But by the same token, and Keith said, well, I see what you're saying is, you're saying my line is a panel line, and I'm saying, no, it's not. It's artwork. It's
Yeah.
not even intended to be a panel line. It's
Yeah.
intended to be part of the paint scheme. And he says, well, when you put it that way, I see your point. Well, it'll be interesting to see. He's going to judge this year. It'll be interesting to see if he takes that into consideration.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But Klaus Makis does some of the most.
Oh, Klaus is a super
artist.
artist. He's like a Les Demet artist for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
he is in fact a commercial artist. Carl.
Yeah, yeah.
But his ink lines have nothing to do with prototypical finalizing. They're
Exactly.
part of the artwork, part of the paint scheme.
If you went to that length then of what scale, these models aren't even close. The best one Al's got isn't even close.
No.
Come on, a real scale model wouldn't do a loop. A scale TigerCat would not do a loop. That's the bottom line.
And I don't. Most scale airplanes wouldn't look good doing it. We
Right.
massaged the shapes to give a
Now this is going to be your competition plane this year,
This
you
is-
think, or the
this-
new competition plane?
My original green and white Maverick,
Right,
my first airplane,
right.
has the classic look, canopy, blah blah blah. It's not like my jet style, big tail, rake back airplane, which I don't think a lot of judges like. So this is my Maverick
More traditional.
76.
Okay.
So I want the bigger pipe,
Right.
bigger engine, which meant the bottom needed to drop down. I wanted the wing to go up, which meant to get the balance, the top had to come up. So it looks different in the fact that the fuselage is much bigger. But
It
it's the
looks
same-
it looks like Eski's plane.
Yeah, it's got a lot more side area, but
The way you can cheat that is put a lot of stripes going front to
that's
back.
what Les and I are working on there.
That's what you pay him the big money for, huh, damn it?
You got it. You got it.
Oh, you think he has a Corvette? I got a 10-year-old Windstar. Who won that battle?
I didn't know we were having a battle.
Yeah, see, there's the first two sketches.
Yeah, yeah, I like Les does good work.
We're settling on something like this one. Because we don't want to steal Kent Teicher's kind of straight up.
This is Strega. This is not. And by the way, if you want to know where this is, 1985, my concourse winner had this paint job.
Yeah.
So
But
I even stole it from myself, and I didn't even admit it. I don't know what a crook I am. And I think I stole it from Macaluso's boat. Macaluso had a boat that had
I
that
gotta
paint
tell you
job.
something. If you want to see some color schemes, there's a magazine on the newsstands, and you have to look at what's in it if it's going to be worthwhile. But it's called Hot Boat, and all it is these hot
Oh yeah,
boats and stuff.
yeah.
And the paint jobs they do
The
on those.
California, the drag boats and everything.
Right. But you want
Awesome.
to see the paint jobs they do on those
Yeah,
because
I'll
they're
bet.
good to pick up different color combinations.
Now these are all done. Al does this, right?
Al does that, yeah. That's his
Okay.
rib sections, and then from that
You get them laser cut.
Get them laser cut. Just give those to Tankers Lee, and
And Tankersley just eat.
he'll cut them before you go.
My kind of guy.
But the same with the fuselage formers. Al and I sit here. We started with this original outline, and then we had another cover sheet that we worked from, and we created the sections, and then drew the sections for each former, and then we took that to Tank and said, cut the formers. And he scanned it in, and
Okay.
within an hour and a half, you got a kit.
Yeah. No, I talked to Tank. I guess about 2 months ago. He'll even do briskets for you for lettering and stuff like that.
Owl's Bearcat, if you look at it, all the access panels, the warning labels on his airplane
Right.
were all stencils made with all the lettering that he just lightly sprayed white paint through.
Yep.
And it was on manila folder paper.
Ah.
So
That's
Al
cool.
took some manila folders over there, they stuck it in the lasers, and it did all the lettering. So at the access panel it says avgas, only, blah, blah,
Yeah, blah, blah,
100
blah.
gallons.
Right.
And he had a full sheet of them. There were like 50 or 60 on there. Normal, painted on, Bearcat, Sea Fury, whatever. And he went to painting those things on his airplane. It came out great.
It did.
It's funny because on Tank's website, he shows you how small he can get those letters. And he's got them next to a dime, makes the dime look like a silver dollar.
And I was amazed because you can't even get dry transfer places.
That's right.
So I can make decals that small, but the problem with decals, if you're not real careful and if your paper's not fresh, The decal will not be crystal clear.
At it because.
No, we want to see it at this point, and when you get it, you're going to do color crayon?
Yeah, well, pen it, hopefully, if he's got them. But basically, what we're doing is the bottom scheme. You know, just real rough, of course. That's a real rough.
This looks a lot like Paladin.
Yes and no, because it will have certain things that Paladin
But this
has
doesn't
that
have the
not.
Paladin side view, really. This
No.
is further back and everything.
Right.
Okay, so here's my feedback. Canopy should be longer.
Well, we can bring the canopy back to here.
You want to have a nice big fancy canopy because this
Well,
to make that look skinnier, the more you could bring the canopy back.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to have a fish tank there. You want to have a
right about here.
Yeah,
I think at the end
yeah.
of the flap would be good. Right back
Yeah.
there.
and if he wants to do it while I'm here, I'll airbrush him in one of these TigerCat specials.
There you go.
Oh, Bob Palmer would be proud of that cockpit. I hope. God bless you, Bob. I hope you like my rendition of it.
No, wait a minute. Turn that camera off a minute.
You've certainly got enough inspirational stuff here. That's for sure.
Had a little hard time getting fuel. They're not answering the phone. You guys need to tell me if you need fuel. Blah 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 blah. I'm good. Here. Hey, gotta have some fuel. Gotta have some fuel. Gotta have some fuel. Hey guys.
Where have I seen this before? This
I'm down to
propeller
where I don't
thing.
have any fuel to spare. And I'm worried.
TigerCats. You put it on charge?
Right here.
Oh, okay, good. Good man. Let's take all the batteries charged so we go tomorrow, we can record.
One battery like you have.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had
When
good luck with that
When
battery.
it's fully charged. Well, it's minutes.
Yeah.
But so far, I've never burnt down the big 8-hour one.
Now, do you have to burn those down
No,
before they're not like the Nikeheads?
not like that yet. You know, unless you're where you can't or it's not feasible. But
What time is the air usually good in the morning? Obviously, the plan tomorrow is to get some flying. And find out if that TigerCat is still in Galveston, the real one. It's a pretty nice book, and one of the things I really like about it, look at this picture of this Black Widow. Wow.
And I know that I've seen some really slick versions of the Black Widow. You know,
Yeah.
where they've taken a lot of that mass on top of the airplane.
Probably the later ones, yeah.
Huh?
Anyway, really nice book here. We've enjoyed reading this and checking it out. While Les draws the amazing plans. Really nice book. Classics. So you coming up on a final version of this?
Yeah. The more you see it, Wendy, the more you.
You're gonna color it in, right?
Yeah.
up till 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, we will have 7 mile an hour or less. 6 a.m. we will have 1 mile an hour. 7 a.m. we will.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not even light out. That's the moon, by the way, in that tree. And we're ready. There he is. He's getting his stuff ready. What's the cat doing? Hey, kitty cat. A little early, isn't it, kitty cat? So this is what it's like at 5 in the morning here. The moon is out. We're trying to load up the Windstar. We want to get down to Scobby nice and early today. Well, we arrive at Scobby and there's right above us a guy flying a powered hang glider, I guess is the right word. Very, very cool. Now, what's happened? We stop at a gas station on the way here, pick up coffee, and I got the coffee in my, look, we're right over Scobby Field here. Scobby Field in Houston. 2 paved circles and unlimited grass. Beautiful, probably the nicest site I've ever been to. But Les and I are drinking coffee and I hit the brakes and the coffee's all over the mats, my feet, my shoe, me. Look at this guy go. Holy moly. And it looks like it's a beautiful morning. Looks like we're going to get to fly quite a few hours today. Oh my God. Okay, we look like we have the morning sun. The TigerCat arrives in Texas. We're unloading the stuff and we're going to get out, and we have that. The possibilities today are we have Richard's professional grade camera on a tripod and my handheld camera just for some fun. And we're going to go back to his shop and going to try to give him some coaching and try to see if we can get any trim flights on the bomber.
Exactly.
Not
You know-
enough wind. There'll be some dead air, but as long as
But
it's
see, I want to use the air. I want you guys to look and see if that wing is level or if we can find some other things to fool with here. Once it gets real bumpy, you can't identify that.
Well, with the air being this cool, you actually won't have a dead air effect like you would with hot air.
Right.
Because
You won't get
cold
any
air
thermals
seems
off
to
of this.
just sink away.
Yeah,
The hot dead air seems to sit there and, like it says, thermal.
yeah, it thermals up on you. Boy, this is one beautiful morning, and we are being entertained by well, I'm not sure what you call this, powered hang glider. He's been flying around and buzzing us and doing all kind of things, and kind of entertaining, but not my thing. I don't want to be in the plane if it crashed. I wouldn't want to have been in the A-26 when it hit the bird. All right, Rich is going to start off the day. While he's getting a flight, we want to look at it. We're going to try to give him some coaching. He's recording from another camera, which we can pull flights from later. And we can go back to the house and just check out. We'll have 8 days of doing this. Rojet 77. We got 2 of them here. Richard's got 1 in his plane. There's 1 in Miss Ashley. We've got a box full of props and 8 days to play. Not sure it gets any better than this. Great weather, great company, and Rojet 77.
Where's the wind? Right, so he's hitting his own turbo.
Yeah. Yeah, but every once in a while on a walker fly off or on top 20 day or something, you get this kind of wind, so it's air, so it's not a real negative thing to practice in it
No,
once in a
not at
while.
all. It's like guys who won't shoot skeet in the rain or when it's windy. Oh, they gotta get us.
Yeah, here comes the sun. It's daybreak. Sun over Scobby.
That's the first time in the day, I'll tell you.
Okay, I'm sitting right underneath where Wendy's flying. And here you can just see the wiggles or the disturbance that may happen in the maneuver. We only got 2 minutes to take. You should get the hourglass and go over and overhead. Here's cross your fingers. They died pretty quick.
Whoa, with the
And he's trying to hit the pits, so you know he's feeling it. And he hit it.
stop. Get to know it better. A little bit better. You fly it.
Well, we're gonna ultimately. I don't want to screw around while we got nice air.
No, I don't blame you.
Well, we're gonna lose it. I can feel it coming.
No, get to know the airplane.
Now here we are at the entry to beautiful Scobie Field in Houston, and we're here trying to trim the TigerCat with Les Demet and Rich Oliver. This is the second part of this, what will wind up being the first tape or DVD though. We're out trimming here in the hot sun, and we've gotten quite a few flights so far. Did some little trim things, and Rich is going to try to record some of this while we have our great Texas adventure of 2005.
How are you at operating these cameras, Les? How are you? Can you operate this camera? Okay. Well, actually, my other camera now is in the maneuver. But if it swaps around again, then my camera won't catch it because it's all over here. Right. But he's moved over to there. Now he's moved over here. See, I go for long stretches where I set my camera up and I don't get any of my flights because the wind switches 4 times while I'm flying. So I go in and out of the camera, in and out of the camera.
Motors right now are exactly where you want them.
Well, it's got just enough wind now that the wind's helping.
Yep.
It's helping the motors unload.
Yep. By the way, what was she packing these for?
85 and 9.
Right on the outboard.
Yeah, the inboard was bouncing between 84 and 85, and the outboard was bouncing from 89 to 9.
Yeah. Okay, so he says that inboard winds up a little bit, takes it off. So
Yeah, but I don't think that it does as much as he thinks it does. He's probably still getting a stronger outboard motor run. You can't turn 500 RPM and the other motor catch up that much.
yeah, you're right. There aren't too many that I know of. Proper fuel delivery system.
motors are sagging up there.
Yep, just a little bit. But that doesn't mind those turns up there, I'll tell you.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
What we really need here.
Yeah.
Fortune for it.
Is he talking to himself?
Yep. He certainly is, Ollie.
You dirt the dog.
One demerit for missing the pit.
That was Bill the Batman Rutherford. As we're flying here, he's buzzing us. We're gonna get a ride in his plane later, of course. Wow. Bill the Batman. As we're flying here, Rich has been recording some of the trim flights. I'm making some handle adjustments. We put a little more nose weight in the plane. So far, very, very productive dice day. We're the only three guys here except for Bill. Where did he go now? Is he coming back? Yeah, maybe he's just leaving us. Well, so far, all we've done is change the handle setting a few times. But it looks like the props could use a little less diameter and a little more pitch in this air. We'll evaluate that later tonight, back at the shop.
Okay, Wendy, hold on for dear life. Well, you can't ask for better. One stops and the other stops a half a lap later.
Man, he's making a habit of that, isn't he?
Huh?
He's making a habit of landing over there.
Right. I have to coach him a little better.
2 demerits.
That red.
Well, that flight was with more line spacing. This one is going to add a little nose weight, which should help smooth out level laps. Probably firm up the exits and entries.
The 1/8" bigger handle definitely was the right direction to go in. For sure. That was where this is going.
You feel you need nose weight though?
Still feels a little tail heavy, yeah. Especially on the land. When you land. And in inverted flight, it gets a little lazy.
Well, when you're flying inverted, it looks like you're having to hold down because it seems to want to drift down, and then I see you bring it up. It drifts down, you bring it up.
I may not have the neutrals exactly right. I could check that by your house. It's all adjustable, so it's not a big deal.
Wait a minute. Are you allowed to clean the airplane up before you're through?
You mean for the season?
Oh, for the morning.
He's reducing the tail weight.
Is that what it is? Okay. Now, if I hear a knock in the door, a knock at my door tonight in the middle of the night, and it's Karen saying, "Oh, Wendy brought it to bed. I don't know what to do.
And put me in the car.
You put me." And I have that on tape. We got 77 more minutes of battery. I sold the guy closed up last month.
Is that right?
Yeah. And from what I
There
hear,
must be a motorcycle place around we can get a battery.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll set.
Well, they're wet cells. Speed's picked up. See, what's happening is the wind is unloading the motors. Then the motors are kicking in. Get further away, giving him a better view with a much smaller lens camera. Hey, hey. The motor that died kicked back in.
Yep.
And then the other motor died, and the kick back in motor was the last to quit.
I'll bet you didn't get that on tape.
Yes,
Did he?
I think so.
wrong. Unless you're a scale enthusiast.
He did it to us again.
No, he did it to you. I'm doing my job. That's a little better. Then it got the outboard one because the inboard wing lifted up.
If he had rotated the prop, that wouldn't have happened.
Don't get him started.
You didn't honestly think I was going to mention that in front of him, did you?
It's on camera. He'll hear it.
He's getting comfortable with that, Richard.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, that motor does sound cleaner.
Right now, that outboard motor's got to be coming in some.
Well, it was already 500 RPM more. And it could be the prop. You know, the pitch could be a little bit off. I was going to suggest earlier swapping the prop. Because if that outboard prop is turning better, that would make it fly lighter. So if you put it on the outside, then you might get a little more fly. He could still fly slow, but get a firmer feel.
Get out of here.
So you're wondering, is everybody in the pool nude or just Rich Oliver? Oh no! Oh, I'm telling you, life is tough here, and you look at these bathing beauties. The only bathing beauty not in there is me.
Hey, Liz.
I have to go work. I have serious work to do on this TigerCat, as you can well imagine. So we have our work list to do. We're going to work on props. We wound up unloading the motor with some Brian Ether 11 inch. These are 11.5s. They seem to work okay, and toward the end of the day when it really got hot, I bent the landing gear back. We added some nose weight, made about 5 handle adjustments, but little by little it's getting friendly. These are the original Doran props, and we chewed one up thanks to whatever you want to call us. We got one that needs a repair. But what these props were doing at just under 12 inches, they were loading the motor too much. So these are 11s. These were loading it, I think. These didn't drive as well as the 12s, of course. So we're going to try to compromise somewhere in between. Take a little bit off the diameter. Maybe take a little bit off the pitch even, so that the motors, Rich wants to run the motors more like 10 grand. We're running them around 9 right now, as we get ready for another day of flying. Another day of swimming pool, flying, hanging out. I don't know, there's not many places in the world more fun than Houston. Now this is after an intense day of being in a pool and being everywhere and editing all these flights down. How many hours of video did you shoot today?
Counting your camera, about 4. 3 hours on mine.
How bad is this? Is this life as it should be lived? Look at this. How bad is this? The man cannot. It just doesn't get any better than this unless it's early. We're gonna get up early and go flying tomorrow, right?
Hey,
We're going for pizza tonight, I know that. Pizza, pizza.
We are?
The women voted for pizza.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot.
I just have it delivered.
That's even better. After watching some of these flights, and we basically have them all from the second camera. Watching these from different angles, which is real nice.
Sharp and crisp. So, even at the nest, they're wanting small.
Now,
one little bit corner.
what we noticed is it's turning just a tad tighter inside than outside, and of course I can make that adjustment on my little link down there, and I think I'm going to do that. What I think I'm going to do is just basically add a little bit of elevator travel before the next session, and that's pretty cut and dry, easy to do thanks to this little adjustable control. We also ran a little hacksaw blade in here so that we glued these together. Now we can get the lead outs a little bit further back, and that was a significant improvement in the way it was tracking and the level of flight. So this was a big change that was well worth it. And for anybody who never built a plane with a straight leading edge plane, this looks further back than it really is. And Rich picked up on that right away. It looked wrong, and as soon as I went back even 1 or 2 notches, I noticed the stability increased a giant amount. You got somebody in your pool, Rich. Who's in the pool? I'm not sure what's going on out here. Anyway, we're getting ready to load up. It's time to load. Time comes early for those of us who sleep late. Oh, it's ready. We're ready, baby. The weather report is for another great day. We're loading up. Oh, maybe it's the cat fooling with the plane here. I'm not sure. We're gonna get loaded up. Hey, cat. And the weather report. Oh, look, the cat's going in my van. Hey, that's the TigerCat sleeping spot. Get out of there. Hey. Anyway, it's Wednesday morning, and we are loading up before daybreak, of course. The early worm gets the cat. Well, the weather is pretty much predicted to be just like it was yesterday, which means we should just get a really, really nice day. Boy, we have really lucked out with the weather so far. Everybody's getting their planes out, and we're basically going to try to do what we did yesterday. We're going to try to work on the TigerCat trim. Not too concerned with Miss Ashley right now. We just would like to get maybe some coaching for Richard, and possibly in the best of all worlds, get some more trim flights on the TigerCat. Looks like he's in jail there, doesn't it? That's pretty cool. It's almost too good to believe. We have muffins, we have coffee, we have DV cameras, we got tripods, we got
a flying
Rojet 77. Look at this flying here.
What's wrong with this?
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
It's
Woo!
New Jersey is what's wrong with it.
Wow. Can you imagine if you came out to the field tomorrow and there was a sign on the field, sorry, we just moved this field to New Jersey.
We'd build another one.
Bye-bye. Now, all of the changes that we made yesterday at the shop have worked really well. We've added elevator travel. We have more elevator now. It's probably more than 3 to 2. And we've got the lead out significantly further back. The next thing we're going to do, I got the Allen wrench. I have 3 head gaskets in this motor. I'm going to take them out. Then both motors, this motor seems to be running a little bit softer than this one. I want to up the compression in this motor. And while we're doing it, Richard's recording. So, boy, what a day. What a day. And in between doing this, of course, he's getting plenty of flights.
36 folks, they'll have a bank of knockheads like this. Ain't nobody gonna get on an airplane, spend $2,000 to get to a flying site, You take a zero because you can't turn the motor on.
Right, right.
And we just have burned down our starter battery. Even though we charged it, the battery's getting ready to go. And Richard's going to get us this real
Now, the guy sells that battery.
high-tech NiCad. What do you call that, a NiCad, Rich?
They're NiCad batteries,
Okay.
but he also has one that already has a starter on it. It's a geared starter.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't need a geared starter for a 40, geez.
No, but what it does is it will turn anything over. It just won't turn it over with any speed.
Right,
So for racing, we needed it spooled up and turned.
right. Never heard.
And we've had some really, really good test flights today that we've done. We've got the lead outs even further back. Did some work swapping props, but we're back to having these props on the plane. The 11-inch cut down to 11-inch. Anyway, I think they're 12s cut to 11s. And we're having so much fun, we basically killed our starter battery. Now Rich has we've been doing some coaching flights for Rich. He's made, I think, some really good progress. We've had another second great day in a row with the bomber. He's got that wired. That was one of the things we were working on, the symmetry and the wing over pullout. Got a little bit lower pitch prop on as we've gotten into the crazy part of the day here. This is one good flying plane. And he's got another one coming off the bench soon, so. A formidable combination. Always interesting to see people's different little body techniques. He's still making it too short on top.
Huh?
Still short on top. He wants to get it over with. I think he's just forcing it through. Yeah, he did it over again, see? Boy, do I know my stuff. There, better. Better! All right.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones we were working on.
Yep. And the axis for that was better too.
See, this would be a good idea. What's the sense of practicing overhead eights and stuff? That's the maneuver he can get some points. He gets some big points at the team trials on that too.
That's better. That's better.
We'll look at it back at the shop on the stationary camera.
His entry is better. He's keeping his axis. He's keeping the axis of the maneuver better.
You know what we got to bring tomorrow?
What?
A bed sheet to cover up the planes.
Yep. Well, you got the chrome thing in the car.
Nah, it doesn't. It isn't really appropriate for this. What happens? You can't get the whole thing covered. I'd rather have a bed sheet and just put the toolbox on the corner. For out in the sun like this, it's easier. You got that hourglass thing coming along?
Well, I tell you, it certainly feels like I'm going down the line I went up.
It looks.
I plant my feet and I go up, I'm turning, and I'm coming down on my lead foot.
It started out, you had it short at the top, and each one got a little better. I assume that's what you were working on. Tell them it's their turn to pay. Time to go to lunch. Even my feet are tired.
I left my phone in the car last night.
These old feet get tired. We're headed out for some food.
7 missed calls from Brad Walker.
This is the hardest part of the whole day, is cleaning this thing up. It's like cleaning a car. So here we are, what we're doing now. Les is a, what are you, the world champion or something?
Yeah, at least.
At least. Les is a professional skeet shooter who gives lessons, and this is one of the biggest. It looks pretty big to me. How many bays do you think they have?
I think we got to go to the right. I'm not sure.
Now what do they do here? They just shoot skeet? Look at the flags. Oh my God, we're stun heaven. I'm giving up all this practice time. I could be
Sporting clays, trap and skeet. We should get down here.
Tell Rich.
Because now we're at the right.
Seriously, Les gives gun lessons. He's a professional, and he's very modest about it, but he is quite the champion with all kind of trophies and awards and stuff. And this is some place they have here is unbelievable. This is the biggest skeet shooting place I've ever seen. We have really had 2 absolutely unbelievably good days. Thanks to Rich and Edie Oliver, we have just had the best time. You can't imagine how great and how much fun these vacations have become for us. And we've tried to coach Rich. We've tried to, he's done a lot of good work on a bomber, trimming it, and gave me a couple of props to try and different things. We're really, I hope, really gonna both learn something good this weekend. Oh, after a long, long day of flying in 100+ degree heat, Houston humidity, we obviously we will be returning to the pool. But first we have a little bit of maintenance, and I was going to try a couple of more things on the TigerCat. I wanted to replace the slop bushing, so of course I got to pull the tail end of the plane apart again. So the first thing is we did a few of the maintenance things, checking all the bolts were tight, checking all the little the things that basically hold the plane together. Now we got to flip it, turn the tail over, pull the whole tail section apart, and I have the little slop bushing which I can replace relatively conveniently anyway. We've wound up at this point with an 1/8 inch hole and a 3/32 rod, and what I'd like to do is try half of that.
Now, I'm not sure if the plane, if this were not a take-apart plane, that it would be a, just give us a lot less choices in trim here early on. And you can see we started where these lead outs were basically here and here, and where we've got them now. And boy, if it ever was a good tip, if you have a Vico Chief straight leading edge wing, don't do as I've done and get the lead outs too far forward. The plane flies much better back here. I still have 2 more choices, but what I'm doing, I'm just letting each lead out wear its way through the foam spar at this point in time. And as soon as Rich gets in here, we're going to review some of the videotape that we shot this morning. The little muffler systems seem to be holding up pretty good. I have a couple of spares if we get time to try them. And so far, after 2 good sessions, I think we really have gotten a lot of the nuts and bolts and the beginning trim of the model pretty much ready to go. Okay, so we got the video that we shot today. We're going to look at it. We did some coaching. We got the crosshairs on the screen. And maybe before the week's out, Les has been looking at that shooting range. We're going to get down there and have him teach us how to shoot ourselves in the foot. Now, in the course of flying today, let me set the stage here, because Rich is going to show. We had this was a Thunderbolt plug that was in there. I don't know if you can see this through the lens. That it's got a lot of ash buildup on there. You said.
See the whitish part. Now you'll have to look at the first
ring down.
Ring down.
Okay.
Maybe we can see it from this side a little bit.
And there's no. In other words, you just replace it. There's no fix for this.
Look at where it's the little ear that's off welded to the side.
Right.
But look at it. Look.
Oh yeah.
It's 5 times the size of the wire. That's what was eating all your glow.
Okay.
It was like shorting it out.
Well, that's what we had, and because I could hear it. It wasn't like a deal breaker shutting the motor off, but I could hear it was rough.
Now we're going to dike off the idle bar, and then we'll pull the wire out, and you'll get a better look at it.
Okay. So he's gonna Rich is gonna we're dumping it. I'm gonna put new plugs in. I just gotta look in. I got a whole box of stuff in the van I want to look at. Oh, so you're gonna pull it. Now your plugs, the Rojet plugs, have the real thin wire in them.
Yes, it's
okay.
Quite a bit smaller. So we're just pulling the idle bar off. Now that I'm gonna get a little pick, we're gonna pull the element up and out so we can look at it. But
yeah, I can see. I have a similar microscope thing on my. I get the kind that goes on your head.
Okay, good.
All right, I see what you're doing.
Look at what's all over.
Yeah, I can see it from here. I can see even with my eyes. I can see it.
Yeah,
it's got a buildup.
It's just coated.
Now that plug has a season of flying on it though.
Yeah, but also see how it's not chrome shiny metal.
Right.
It's kind of a white ash.
It's oxidized already.
Oxidized, yeah. That also starts losing the burn. But the way, if the engine is being pushed, a lot of times where you want to read the plug is if you pop it out. If the element has been pushed down and into the cavity, that's usually heat doing that.
Okay.
If you look down in there and the element looks like it's lifting up out of the cavity, it's cold.
Okay.
We used to say in racing it's looking for heat. But it's basically that it is sucking the element out of the body down in. But every once in a while we would see a plug that would come out of the engine that the element would be up and out of it like that.
So
that was too rich.
Okay, so what you're saying, this plug, rather than just replace it with another Thunderbolt plug, what do you want to try replacing? Because I have pretty much every plug.
You know, this plug was giving you what you had, or what was wrong with the run that you were trying to fix. just because it's old.
Okay.
It's used, but it also had large deposits on it that it affixed to it that were shorting it out.
Right.
So you in essence had a whole lot shorter wire burning less fuel
Right.
and
right.
retarding the burn.
Right.
So
So a
you
new
just
plug
needed
is going to
new
be
one.
hotter. It's going to be like advanced and probably give it an RPM increase.
You wouldn't change anything till you change the plug with the exact same style and then see what's going
And a
on.
new one.
And a new one.
A new one. Okay.
Because,
I got a new one in there now.
the plug itself could have been causing all the problems.
Okay. It wasn't really a deal breaker, but it was.
It was just enough.
Yep. Just enough. And the other thing that happens when you have a twin, especially a twin with no tail, and one engine starts shorting out, you get vibration. The vibration foams the fuel for the other engine, and then you don't know which engine is, you know, it masks the problem.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna make a little, I'm gonna make a little bushing in here where I have my adjustable controls. Rich is gonna check out, oh, this is the TigerCat flying. Oh, lucky me. No, it's not, it's you flying. All right, and you got those flights that I talked to the camera on. When you get to them, let me look at them.
I thought you talked over there.
Now we got our very low slop bushing in. And of course, the air is cooling off. It's down to 102 here. We're gonna go back out to the field for a little while. Les is gonna bring his gun. I'm not sure why. We were gonna, I don't know, we're gonna look at that skeet place. Maybe go over there and shoot a couple rounds tonight. Check this out. Eat more chicken. Now it's 102 degrees. And this guy's out here in front of a, what is it? Original Chicken Restaurant. Look at this. He wants his picture in stunt nose. Vote for me, vote for me. Eat more chicken. Oh man. Oh, there's nothing.
We're about to hold up crap.
And we're back at Scobby. Now we want to try this. What we have set up here now is a lot more elevator relative to flap than we originally started with. One of the things we wanted to try. And we have the small props back on a plane. We want to get, and it's coming down from 102 degrees that it was before, so should be able to pick up some good data for the database. Rich, on the other hand, has had nothing but a great day. He got about 10 flights on tape. We had some coaching flights, and he's looking to just do some work on the props or get a setup that he's got a little more engine run brake, and at the same time the plane is going slower. So we'll finish out this day here, and if we get done early, we'll run over and shoot some skeet. Watch Les Demet shoot some skeet. Now what's really added to the productivity of this day is we've been able to get back-to-back flights. Nobody else has been on the field, of course. So what happens when, like Richard's made a prop change, we can go right back up. He can go back and get some relative numbers, feel. Right now the air is almost stone dead. I think he's going to be backing up a little bit. And we're going to fly till sunset? I'm not sure. We're not going to get another gallon of fuel burned here. The air is very soft right now. Even he's experienced. I had a very soft flight with the TigerCat. You just feel the air just, it's still, believe it or not, over 100 degrees. And Richard has his air density meter, and he's saying it's very, very thin right now. And I see even that, his pattern is softened up some, so now I don't feel so bad. Oh, much better than this morning. That was one of the things we were working on, was that first angle. Richard watched the videos and said, yep, Wendy, you're some cool guy, you know what you're doing. Not in the head though. We're stretching this maneuver out, which looks like he's got that down pat. Yes! He likes hearing that. I just noticed he gave me the finger, gave me the pickle. Flying it out, nice. Fly it out. Don't cut it short. So we have just had 2 days of either constant flying or working on planes or sitting in the pool or, I mean, I'm not sure it doesn't, I don't know it ever gets better than this. Karen was out with Edie, they were shopping. They're gonna surprise us tonight with, I'm sure they bought something. They found some antique stores. Now we're just gonna fly till we drop. And the shooting range is open at 10, so we can even go over there after it's dark. And as the sun sets in the west, you just can't imagine how nice the conditions are here. Air's a little dead, a little spongy, but boy, we have had great companionship. Look at that sun setting. If you've never been to Scobby Park in Houston, Texas, boy, don't miss it. Great place to wear out your road jets, whether you have one or whether you have two.
That's really incredible.
And this is probably the last flight we're going to get here. We're running out of battery, that's one thing.
Generally, you can park close enough to the fields.
But they're open till 10, right?
Yeah.
We're at the skeet shooting tournament here.
Not tournament.
Action open.
That means make sure the gun's unloaded, dummy.
Oh, okay. Don't walk around. You don't walk around with bullets in the thing, right?
Absolutely not. The only time you load the gun is when you're on the station ready to shoot. And they have a bunch of different targets. It's not like skeet. It's more
But
like
these are what I used to know as a kid of clay pigeons.
yeah, that's what they are. Let me go in and find out what's going on. Richard, tell you the truth, I don't think we're going to see the targets very well at this point in time.
Now actually we quit flying because we can't see the plane, so what's wrong with this picture? We come over here, we can't see the the bullets.
Hey, I can see gnats and bumblebees flying around. Y'all can't see them?
You have incredibly good. That sun doesn't bother you, huh? I'm
No.
amazed. I am amazed at that. You are in a different league than I am. That sun was killing me. I was trying to fly above the horizon to see the plane, and even then I couldn't do it. It was dead.
Maybe it's my sunglasses.
No, I got sunglasses too. It's the eyes. It's being old. Well, you're only 36 years old, so.
Yeah. This half.
Yeah.
Well, the plan tomorrow is we're going to try to get up early and we're going to try to go spend the day doing things that the women want to do. Like going to the Air Museum in Galveston. Not sure that's exactly what the women had in mind. Anyway, we had a lot of little maintenance to do on the planes. Everything is done. We went out for Mexican food. We're back. We just need to pack everything up. Tomorrow is going to be a whole new day, and we're looking forward to some more good weather. The weather has just been fabulous here. Now what we'll do, if we have any extra time at the end of these tapes, I'll try to splice in some of the footage that Richard's been shooting from his tripod cameras, both tripod cameras. Anyway, tomorrow is our big day.